Alright, so cluck cluck, chicken lady here. Egg video that I promised. I wanted to make sure I got this done. So I do get lots of questions about eggs. When I picked my name Chicken Lady, I went between Chicken Lady and Egg Lady because a lot of people around here call me the Egg Lady because I'm just like constantly giving out eggs. I get a lot of eggs. Like whenever I even just go to the local convenience store, whoever the cashier is. I'm at the gazebo today and y'all are going to hear traffic. I'm sorry. Hopefully it won't be too loud. So whoever the cashier is up there gets a dozen eggs. It's just, you know, I have so many. I give them out. I donate them sometimes to, like I've said before, we have a Virgin Club who does like a pancake breakfast about once every few months. You know, I donate to them. We have like a little food closet thing where people would put in food, and anybody who needs it, it's a little community box, can go. People know that I will drop eggs off there once a week. They know the day because I leave a little message so they know they can go up and get some. And unfortunately, sometimes I have to go and collect them if they don't receive them. So because it's you know, it's literally just a little food box outside. So let's just go ahead and get into the questions. I do get asked questions from many of y'all. Some of these are just questions from other people. I have them written down, so here we go. So one of the most common questions is, it's also very cold out here, so y'all might hear my voice quiver a little bit. How often do hens lay? Okay, so most hens will lay when they're in their prime once a day, and they may take a break maybe every week and a half, somewhere around there. Their ovulation cycles for most is 22 hours, so that's about what you'll get. In the winter time, some chickens just stop laying completely. I've been lucky. My chickens just kind of taper off a little bit. You know, I might only get one every other day. And a chicken's schedule is really just based on the sun. They're almost slaves to the sun. I really hope that this wind isn't affecting the sound. It probably is. It is very cold and very windy. So they're really slaves to the sun. So as the days get shorter, for some, you know, their body just reacts to that, and so that's why they taper off or maybe stop laying completely. Also, and this is just from my human side, if I was a chicken, I would not be wanting to get in a very cold place, squatting, exposing God knows what to lay an egg. So I don't like the cold. That's just not something I would do. So then we got a lot of people asking me about refrigeration ever since I said something about how eggs don't necessarily need to be refrigerated. There are some countries that it's actually illegal to put eggs in the refrigerator because once you put them in the refrigerator, that's when the condensation gets on them. The condensation will wash off their protective coat that they have. Eggs have a natural protective coat, and that's when they'll start getting some of your salmonella and stuff like that. So typically, the ones from the store that you buy from a grocery store are not going to have any of that stuff anyway. What on earth is that? Somebody's leaving my house. Okay, so we have that refrigeration aspect. I have one of those egg carousels on my counter. That it holds probably about 18 eggs, and I do keep eggs on my counter. Eggs on the counter will last 4 weeks at room temperature. Now, because my house is also, you know, an older house, it uses wood heat, and it uses, you know, I have the air condition, but you know, in the summertime it's typically a little bit warmer than room temperature. In the wintertime is typically warmer than a little room temperature because of my wood heat. You know, there's ways to regulate wood heat, but typically I'm particularly me, keeps it a little bit warmer in the house. So I do have mine in the carousel on the counter, but any that I have over to the side, I actually do put in the fridge. So, then we have, let's see. Okay, I do get asked this. Egg color. What does a green egg taste like? Is a green egg better for you? What does a pink egg taste like? Is that better for you? Okay. They all taste the same. Nutrition value, all the same. You know, my nephews and nieces would definitely tell you that the green eggs taste better. They love the green eggs. I have to make, whenever I do make my dozens to give out or to sell, I always make dozens of just green eggs for my nephews and nieces. They love them. Okay, so now we're going to talk about fertilization of the eggs. If you're my age, as long as you're not a little kid, there is a good chance that you have eaten a fertilized egg. Nowadays, when you get them from the grocery store, the way they keep the chickens and so forth, there's, you know, they're probably not fertilized. However, you know, I'm sure many of you have had farm. If you get a farm fresh egg and they have a rooster, it's fertilized. Trust me. If you got a rooster, you got fertilized eggs. You can absolutely eat fertilized eggs. That's not an issue. I think a lot of people are like weirded out by that. There is a way you can tell a fertilized egg from a non-fertilized egg when you open the egg. And I am going to put a picture somewhere right about now-ish. Okay, so as y'all can see, there's more of a bullseye shape in the fertilized egg. Now, when I'm incubating, the way I can tell a fertilized egg is about day 3. I will candle it, and if you'll, maybe I'll try to get a picture of that. Basically, a non-fertilized egg, by day 3, you're going to start seeing something forming in the egg. So, and if it's not fertilized, you're not going to see that. When do hens start laying? Well, I would say that on average, if you just like average all your breeds out, 6 months is about the age you're going to start laying. I've been very lucky. I tend to get breeds that's more towards, like, you know, I use my chickens for egg laying. So they typically lay, I've had very good luck, about 4 or 5 months, I would say. But on an average, if you're just picking out any chicken, I would not, just don't expect anything until about 6 months. And if you get it early, woohoo! That's kind of how I feel. Double yolks. I will say that one of my next questions is going to be like one of my favorite eggs, and I do love it when I get a double yolk. Some people say, oh, that means you have happy chickens and stuff like that. That may be the case sometimes, but usually you will get double yolks from younger hens. Their body is not really getting in that habit yet, so their body's kind of, you know, everybody remembers puberty. They're going through puberty. Their body's just sort of like not on that schedule yet, so every now and then they'll drop a couple of yolks. And basically what that is when they ovulate, they'll slowly start forming a shell, but maybe they ovulated twice and the shell will form around them. That's another interesting thing about eggs that nobody's asked me that I'm going to tell y'all right now. That shell is not hard until it hits air. That's why you'll see kind of some misshaped eggs every now and then, because as they might be struggling trying to get it out, and the air is, it's almost like when you see somebody blowing glass, or, you know, as soon as it gets away from the heat, it starts to solidify. Same thing with eggs. And another fun thing about eggs, some people find this disturbing. I love this. If you get like literally a really fresh egg, like literally they just got out of the nesting box, it is so warm, which y'all are probably grossed out by. My nephews who come up here, I had them helping me once, and one of them was literally so grossed out, they were like, ah, because it was warm. I love it, especially on cold days when you reach in there and it's warm, you're like, oh, it's just nice. So Yeah, I'm a weirdo, by the way. All right, one thing, and I think I kind of touched on this with the fertilization. A lot of people think that you have got to have a rooster to get eggs. Not the case. You have to have a rooster if you want fertilized eggs, but you do not need a rooster for eggs. They just lay. Let's see, washed or unwashed. I kind of touched on this earlier too. I leave mine unwashed until right before use or right before I'm getting ready to give them to somebody. I do wash mine before I give them to somebody because, you know, sometimes eggs don't come out the cleanest. It happens. Sometimes they're just perfectly fine, sometimes they're not. So, but I keep mine completely unwashed until right before use or right before giving them to somebody. And the only reason I do it right before I give them to somebody is because some people are grossed out by stuff. Alright, so what is my favorite egg? What is the one I look forward to? I would say that every one of my chickens, their first egg, I love it. It's so exciting when they lay their first egg. Now, just in general, which eggs do I look forward to? Of course, I love my green ones because, like I said, people love the green ones. They love the colored ones. I love it when my Bojangles lays an egg. They're so cute and little, and she's so proud. You can hear her. I can hear her, you know, from a very long ways away. I go, up. Bojangles just laid an egg because she's so proud of that little egg. And so right now I'm super excited about my bantam eggs. They're little too. They're cute. So yeah, I would say that the most excited I get is when I know that one of my newer chickens has just laid their first time. Fun story about my very first egg. It was probably my most excited moment. You know, I'd been waiting and waiting for these chickens to lay eggs, watching every morning. So I go down there once, and I literally walk in the coop, and it was Lindsay Lohan. And she was in there in the nesting box, laying an egg. And as soon as I seen her, I was like, woo! And I just kind of whispered it. I was like, sorry. Because I just felt like I was invading her privacy. Now I go in there all the time and lift them up while they're laying. So, but it was just, it was funny. And within, I would say she laid me a double yolk within 2 or 3 days of laying her first egg, and that thing looked like a dinosaur egg. I mean, I saved that thing for a long time. I was showing everybody, have y'all ever seen an egg this size? It was huge. But yeah, so that was a fun story about my very first egg, and I was very excited. So let's see, where am I? Okay, when I'm incubating eggs, so I'm looking for, now I will look for the cleanest eggs when I'm incubating, okay, because you are putting it in a very humid, a very hot environment where diseases will do stuff. So I am looking for the cleanest eggs. I'm also kind of looking for like more perfect eggs. I have put some non-perfect eggs in there, come out fine. But typically I am trying to find more perfect eggs. It's a more higher success rate of those. Now, people will tell you that you cannot incubate or hatch a double yolk. I've never even tried because I've read that. But I've had many people on my chicken farms, yes, there are chicken farms and I love them, hatch double yolk eggs, which is super cool. If I ever get one, I may try. But I also get sad when my eggs quit. So I think that's another reason why I haven't attempted, because it will make me sad. But so I'm going to just briefly touch on chicken farms. If you have chickens, chicken farms are great. I use Backyard Chicken. You know, there are plenty of Facebook chicken farms. There are, you know, you find chicken. There's actually a really lot of chicken farms. They are great if for just advice, something comes up you don't know anything about. I found them more helpful when incubating when I was hatching, because there are always tons of incubation questions. That could be a very good video one day also. And yeah, there are plenty of times when I have had to go to these people and say, hey, what's going on? This is happening. Because I am you know, I've had chickens for a while, but there's still definitely things that I don't know about. Okay. So, I do get asked about my favorite recipes, about egg recipes. I call myself the bubble gum of eggs because I get so many eggs that I do sometimes have to like use a lot. So I'm not an egg eater per se. Like I'm not like somebody who makes myself eggs in the morning or anything like that. My husband absolutely is. Actually, my entire family is. I'm pretty much like the oddball in my family. I don't eat eggs. Excuse me. When I do eat eggs, they're in baked dishes. I bake a lot. I would say that the most common thing I use eggs for is I bake my own bread. So I use eggs in that pretty much like every other day. So bread is definitely one thing I use it for. I would say that like whenever I have a bunch, I'll make deviled eggs, and I will eat deviled eggs, like around the holidays. But if I do have like a lot, I'll make deviled eggs. One thing that I do is I make like little egg muffins. So basically, it'll almost taste like an omelet, to be honest. So I get eggs and I scramble them, and I have whatever topping serving, like green peppers, onions, bacon, sausage, whatever, like whatever you want. I usually make some vegetarian options. I usually make some. This is good when you're feeding like a whole bunch of people for breakfast. You got your Western omelet options. You got your vegetarian options. You got your just straight up meat options. So you get a big muffin pan. You outline them with a little muffin. What do you call those sleeve things? And I will pour eggs about 3/4 of the way in all of them, and I'll put whatever toppings I want. And you just put them in the oven for about 350 for 15 minutes, and you got yourself little muffins, and people can take them on the go. It's a really quick way to feed a lot of people. So that's probably, and of course there's quiches. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do with eggs. Those are just like some of the ones that I do a lot, I would say. So, what do I do with all my eggs? I think I've kind of talked about this. I give them away. I take them to the cashier sometimes. Now during the summer when I'm getting like a ton and like too many for me to give away, too many for me to donate, whenever I go up to the local feed store, which my husband's family owns, woohoo! So I just sit outside with some eggs on a table, $2 a dozen. I actually usually have a whole cooler full because it is summer and it's hot. $2 a dozen. And honestly, I drop that down when I'm getting sick of sitting up there. Sometimes if I still have a bunch, I'm like $1 a dozen, whatever, just take them. So I do sell some up there. My eggs are. That's whenever you're selling eggs, you do want to tell them about like maybe a lot of people want to know about what they're fed, their living environment, stuff like that. Like people like to know that they're free range sometimes. Sometimes they want to know that they're on an all organic diet, which mine are both, all those. I will say, and I do tell them, so every now and then my chickens get a treat. Like for example, they love spaghetti, they love macaroni and cheese. So every now and then they do get a treat. That's not necessarily organic, but it's somewhat rare. So I think, am I down with my last questions? Oh yeah, I am. So one thing I asked is, how do you know which eggs or which chickens? Because I do know people, and I've kind of said that in my videos before. I'm like, oh, look at this egg. This is a so-and-so egg. I'm so, as I've told you, I look forward to the very first egg that my the very first egg gets me so excited. At that point, you kind of know what tint, what color, what size. Mainly color. Even though I make, like, for example, I have many green egg layers. Yoko Ono, for example, lays a really pretty green egg. Really, and then I got, like, let's see who else. Margaret Hatcher used to lay a slightly dingier green than Yoko Ono. Save Squawky's eggs are more of a yellowish tint, but it's still green. Then I've got I'll be honest with you, Lindsay Lohan and Bojangles, almost the exact same tint of pink. But Bojangles always lays a slightly smaller egg than Lindsay Lohan. So see, there are little things. It's almost the same way that I can tell the chickens apart. There's just slight differences that you learn and that you learn to know. So, you know, I can go in and tell exactly who laid a day, and I know exactly who to say, hey, you're being a freeloader, start laying me some eggs, which I do a lot. I also call my roosters freeloaders because they just get fed for nothing. They get fed to run around and chase me. So yeah, I do have a lot of freeloading pets. And in the wintertime, like, I will be calling plenty of hens freeloaders when they go a few days. I'm like, you bunch of freeloaders. It's a funny thing I do. Y'all might not find it funny. I find it very funny. Okay, so now I will be doing a weekly showcase after this. Y'all trust me, I'm not this wide. I'm just like layered up because it's so cold. It's not even 30 degrees out here yet. I would absolutely do a video of my house, but my house is noisy. Y'all would not be able to hear me. I will be doing a weekly showcase after this. I do need to tell y'all that I am going to be taking a temporary hiatus from YouTube for a while. My weekly showcases may be bi-weekly, they may be monthly, I'm not sure yet. You know, there's some health stuff that I need to take care of, and don't worry, everybody, you know, I've got plenty of people who's going to be helping me out around here. So I'm going to get that health stuff taken care of. It just means I might not be around on YouTube as much, but you're absolutely welcome to message me anytime still. I'm sure I'll still be checking messages, and whenever I am feeling up to it, I will do a video. I will pop into some chats to say hey, and so I just did want to let y'all know that. And so this upcoming weekly showcase may be the last one for a couple of weeks, and I will say that then too. Anyway, cluck cluck, chicken lady out.